Prologue. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, long ago, lived a king named Stephen and his fair queen named Lee. They lived in their very own castle with their people. One fateful day, a couple of good fairies came to the castle. They were men fairies, and they greeted themselves to Stephen and Lee. "Hello, your majesties," said one fairy. "My name is Danny, and this is my apprentice, Griffin." Then Griffin says to the king and queen happily, "Hi." King Stephen and his queen introduced themselves to the two male fairies. King Stephen asked nicely, "Where do you both come from, my good friends?" "We come from a house in the forest," explained Danny, "and we just came here to see you and your queen, sire," offered Griffin. "That's very nice of you," said Queen Lee sweetly. Then King Stephen's boss came in the throne room. "Hi, your majesty." He greets them. "Hi, Lord Duke." King Stephen greeted back. "These are the two male fairies. They're only just here to see us." "Oh, that's cool," Lord Duke agreed. "My name is Lord Duke, and it's nice to meet you two fairies." "Hi, Lord Duke," Danny and Griffin said in unison. "We're from the forest," Griffin told him, "and we use these wands to make magic." Then Danny took out his wand. "Of course, that's what we do. We gotta use magic if something goes wrong in our lives," said Danny. A little later, the fairies started to leave the castle, but Griffin told the king and queen something that would cheer them up. "Your majesties, I promise you that Master Danny and I will come back for you." Queen Lee smiled and said, "We would love that if you and your master would come back someday to see us again." As the fairies flew off from King Stephen's castle, they flew over the estate, greeting everyone around it. Then they flew into the forest and had a little fun time. A song played, "Till Kingdom Come" by Coldplay. In the forest, the two fairies had a good conversation about the king and queen in the castle by sitting on a log. "You know, Master Danny, I think that King Stephen and Queen Lee are pretty nice," said Griffin. "Yes, Griffin, but I think that Lord Duke is a nice guy," replied Danny. "And I've never seen that King Stephen has a helper in his kingdom. I would say that I told Queen Lee that we would see each other again someday when we visit them at their kingdom, Master Danny," Griffin told him. "Of course, we'll see them again if they have something special in their kingdom," said Danny. "Shall we go home and have some dinner tonight?" asked Griffin. "Yes, I'll cook us something to eat," Danny replied. The two fairies flew back home to their cottage in the forest, and they cooked themselves up with eggs and any food they could eat. While they're eating, Griffin asked Danny if King Stephen and Queen Lee could show them something nice in their kingdom. They could, but he said maybe. "Perhaps they can have a child or maybe a new staff for the kingdom," Griffin answered. "We'll see about it, Master Danny," Danny said happily. "I hope so too, Griffin." Later, when it got dark, Danny and Griffin set their beds up in their bedroom. They transformed into their pajamas with their magic, and Danny read Griffin a bedtime story before bed. and finally wished each other good night, and so they have a good day tomorrow. The next morning, the two fairies woke up and greet the day with smiles on their faces. When they got out of their beds, they eat a complete breakfast, wash themselves up, and they turn into their clothes with pointy hats that they wore the other day. When they first arrived at the King Steven's castle, Griffin asked, "What do you want to do this morning, Master Danny? Watch TV or just talk to each other?"